Can you beat Minecraft if the whole world is water? In this challenge, I don't have access to any blocks or structures, but what I do have are drowned. Drowned have two extremely useful drops. The first is copper. This world is currently in snapshot 21W14A, where copper blocks can be crafted with only 4 copper ingots. The other drop is a fishing rod. If a drowned is holding a fishing rod, it has a small chance to drop it when killed. With a fishing rod, I'll be able to get a bunch of useful items. So, once in the world, the first thing I had to do was kill a bunch of drowned. So, after killing 83 drowned, I was 2 hours into the challenge and I had my first copper block, but I still didn't have a fishing rod, so I kept killing drowned, and 2.5 hours later, I got one. I started fishing and the only useful thing I got was a tripwire hook. Now that may not seem too useful, but it's one of the best items I could have gotten, because tripwire hooks are a core component of string dupers. My first real goal in the early game of this challenge is to build a string duper, because that'll give me access to tons of blocks, and those blocks will allow me to make a bunch of farms that will allow me to get to the Nether and later the end. To build a string duper, you need 8 blocks, a lily pad, 2 tripwire hooks, and 2 string. So until I had all those things, I needed to keep killing drowned and keep fishing. Now I had all the materials I needed, except the 2 string. I needed one more, and I got it by placing out some blocks and getting a spider to spawn.
Oh my god.
Now I could start building the string duper. I first cleared out some water, then placed in the tripwire hooks. And that was it. It may not look like much, and that's because it isn't. But it works. For some reason, when you place 2 string in between tripwire hooks, then water breaks them, it'll drop 3 string instead of 2. So basically, I could create 1 extra string at a time, and I did this for a long time. Now that I had a ton of blocks, I could start building a mob farm. This would provide a bunch of useful items, like bows and arrows from skeletons, and the rare iron drop from zombies. I only had access to blocks, string, and carpets, so making a farm that would work well would be pretty difficult. But thankfully, I was able to find a perfect farm design by this guy, so thank you to him for designing an awesome farm. The build started with building up 128 blocks, so nothing could spawn outside of the mob farm. Then, I basically just built a big box and created a killing chamber. And that was it. The mobs fall in because there are holes in a triangle pattern on the floor, and there's 2 carpets behind each of the holes, which makes the mobs think that they can walk there for some reason. The next thing I needed to do was build a giant platform, and to do that, I was going to need shears. Shears would allow me to make an automatic string duper, which would make getting blocks way faster. The platform required many stacks of blocks, and there was no way I was going to get that 1 string at a time. So to get shears, I needed to kill zombies at the mob farm until I got 2 iron. I did this, and when I wasn't farming, I was placing blocks. And just like that, I had my first piece of iron. I also made another copy of the mob farm to try and get more mobs to spawn. Then, I got my second piece of iron. Now, I was finally able to craft shears and make an automatic string duper. And with a super easy source of blocks, I was able to make a huge platform. This is where my progression started getting really fast, because while it may not look like it, this platform was my key to one of the best mobs in the game, the Wandering Trader. The Wandering Trader needs a ton of space to spawn, but once it does, it would allow me to get wood by buying my water bottles I got from fishing, then selling 8 logs for that 1 emerald. And once I had wood, I would be able to make a crafting table, and this would unlock 3x3 crafting recipes, which would be super important later. So I built an AFK spot and started waiting for a Wandering Trader to spawn. I waited 4 hours and nothing, but then... Thankfully nothing important burned, but still, the block I was standing on got struck by lightning before a Wandering Trader spawned. I had to wait another 2 hours until a Wandering Trader spawned, but once one did, I was able to sell my water bottle and get an emerald. And then I was able to buy 8 jungle logs. With that, I could then make a crafting table and create a slime block, and this was going to come in handy later. At this point, things were going to start getting a little weird, because now I had to switch my game into snapshot 23W13A or B. This was one of the April Fool's updates, and it added a bunch of weird stuff, like voting and the moon. One thing you can vote on is super bouncy slime blocks, which when enabled, makes you jump higher and higher when you're on a slime block. I needed this because when you get above Y700, you'll get teleported to the moon. The moon has rovers, and when you step on them, it creates giant structures that can have chests, including lava buckets. And this is my plan on how to get to the Nether. So first, I'll have to wait for the super bouncy slime blocks proposal to come up, and then vote yes on it. And after 3 hours of waiting, I got it. And now, I could just start bouncing. And once I hit Y700, I got teleported to the moon. Now, I had all 10 lava buckets, so I could leave the moon. Now I could build my Nether portal. Then, on this last bucket, I had to wait a while because the lava had to catch some wool on fire, which would light the portal once I completed it. Yes! Now I could get into the Nether, but first, I needed to load into snapshot 22W13 one block at a time. This was another April Fool's update, and it got rid of the entire inventory, meaning you could only hold one block. But, more importantly, it changed the way you get into the end. In this version, strongholds don't spawn with end portals. Instead, you have to get them from fortress chests in the Nether and make one for yourself. This was going to be the only way I could get into the end. Alright, so now I just need to find a fortress. Okay, here's the fortress. So, oh, I'm kind of low, and I've got this guy after me. Oh, and I'm back. So I just need to get down somehow. There we go. Now I need to find the part that has the chests. Here might be the right place. Oh god. I'm just gonna have to avoid the blazes and withers and stuff. This seems like the right part. Now there should be chests. Nice. And just like that, you can see we have an end portal frame. And now I just need to find my way out of here. And I'm out. Then, when trying to place the end portal frame, I got it stuck on my head. Okay. So I had to take some damage to get it off. There we go. Nice. Then I went back into the Nether and got another frame. Ooh, nice. Nice. Then I did the same thing again and got this portal stuck on my head. So I had to get it off, again. Then I did it all again to get another frame. Then I brought it back and placed it down. Perfect. Nice. Then I grabbed the other two and tried to place them down, but I ended up dying and I actually lost one of the frames because when I died, that sent the one I was holding up and away and into the water, where it sank and then fell into the void. So now I had to get 10 more frames, and it was super boring and repetitive. So here's a montage. Now, I was at the last step of the challenge, killing the dragon. At this point, I could switch into the latest version. So I grabbed all the stuff I would need for the end fight, and hopped in the portal. I shot down all the crystals,
Nice. I think that's all the crystals.
But then I ran out of arrows, so I had to punch the dragon to death. But eventually, I got her.
Yes! Yes! Oh my gosh. Finally. Oh my god, that took so long. I'm finally done with this challenge after 1.91 real-life days playing in this. That's almost 48 real-life hours.
If you enjoyed the video and want YouTube to recommend more of me, please consider subscribing. It also helps me out a lot. Thanks for watching.